Hi, my name is Will, and welcome back to my Big Fun Dumb Survival. Or welcome, if you've never been here before. I have a lot to get done, and I've actually done a lot off camera already. So I'm not gonna waste any of your time. I need to show you all of the things that I've been up to. Starting with down here. A couple of episodes ago, I built this parkour course in my world, and, you know, I use it every now and then. It's pretty annoying to have to get over to that side of my base or whatever using this parkour course. I knew it was going to be, but I was being stubborn and wanted to do it anyway. So now I have a cheat sheet over here, and I can just take this minecart. Some people will call this lazy, I'd call it innovative. And then down here is my skeleton spawner, which, as of the last time this was in a video, was not finished. I finished it a couple of weeks ago. You got an enchantment table over here. You got the actual thing. I can turn it on and off. Dude, two of those just spawn with enchanted bows. And then if you want to see all of the nooks and crannies, they fall down here and get sent into this bubble column and down here onto this campfire. This is actually a dispenser. I need to change it to a dropper. It just dispenses the arrows. I don't get any. Which honestly, I use Infinity. It's really not that big of a deal. But yeah, this is all finished and I got a flint and steel. And of course I can punch them if I want the XP and stuff. But that is just one thing that I've been up to. I actually went on an adventure recently. Oh yeah, and you can open the thing from here as well. And I actually have a couple of friends I need to show you that I just got. You might have saw them in the intro, but here is Sabu, my new dog. I actually haven't had a dog in this world since I was on the Bedrock edition of the game, so it was really cool getting to have one. He got immediately tamed after I found him, so yeah, he joins me on the balcony now. And then down here, this is Sunbutter, my new horse. And officially, I believe my fastest horse that I have around my base. I don't think this is nowhere near the fastest horse you can have. But we have one more friend over here in the barn. This is Crazy Bone. Yeah, a thunderstorm happened, and then I turned around and immediately saw a skeleton horse. And of course, it did the jump scare thing, so I had to fight a bunch of skeletons. But I ended up with Crazy Bone here, which I think will actually have Crazy Bone join us for today. Look at him. He's not the fastest horse in the world, but he gets there. Oh yeah, and I added a bunch of sand around here as well. I think that makes it look more like a river. I think it kind of gives this area its own little personality, and it goes all the way over there to this big mountain. But we're actually in the area that I want to begin working with today. I think I want to finally fill in the last couple of spots in this village and call it 100% done. The eventual plan is to have villagers around here, but it's not quite safe enough yet, especially given this whole debacle over here. I can't even move anything over until this gets repaired. Crazy Bone buddy, I'm gonna put you here. You're a little slow. If you did not see the end of the last video, this is the new project that I've been working on. I believe it'll actually be the next episode that we'll be building up here, but I needed to have this big space down here cleared out as well. All the plans I have going on in here. It's not quite dug out yet, but there was a mountain here, which now says bad words, and a mountain over here, so that all of this will eventually be cleared out and turned into something. I can't quite share what this is going to be yet, but you can see that the river actually runs through here and it will be staying. Now, I'm going to try and avoid the mistake I made over here in this part of the village where everything kind of looks very samey. I think introducing some more blocks into this palette would be pretty cool, and I think at some point I might just come back and update a couple of these builds to be a little different looking. I myself, as the person who built this, I'm not getting lost in this place because I definitely have before. I actually think the last thing I added over here were these stables and everything. So we got these farmhouses over here, and I think I'm gonna kind of want some animal pens around here as well, kind of the farm area. Although I gotta be kind of careful with the amount of animals I add and stuff because I don't want to lag this area too much. But I have some resources to go acquire in my storage room. Then I think we'll get started with those animal pens over there. And get started I did. I went over, collected a bunch of materials with Crazy Bone, and then I got to work kind of experimenting with the front of a gated little animal pen. And you'll see here in a second, I fail miserably at that, and then I destroy it, and then we start up with something that ended up looking more kind of like the final product. I decided to switch out the bottom cobblestone for birch wood, just because I hadn't used a lot of birch in the area, and everything was kind of looking a little sprucey. I ended up kind of mimicking this design a little bit and changing up the colors, that way they didn't completely blend in with each other, and I think they pair well together. And then I ended up playing with the roof for a little bit and struggled a lot, and finally ended up with something that kind of looked like a roof, and then did it on the other one, and then we were finished with the pens. Okay, I'm gonna need to figure out a way to get all the animals that I need. Probably just steal a couple of cows from my own spot. Gonna need wheat for sure. I think we just take them out one at a time. Get out of there. Hi, buddy. You're coming with me, and then you're coming with me as well. That was easier than I thought it was going to be. And then, yeah, just lead you guys. Yeah. I'm walking my cows, and I walk my sheep too. Alrighty, this is set up over here with the sheep and the cows. It took way longer than I wanted it to, but it's okay. But I think next we're going to come out from over there and back over here. Kind of next to this railway station, I kind of want there to be a town hall of sorts right here. Maybe a bigger building than a lot of the other ones that looks regal enough to house somebody important. I'm hoping I brought enough resources because I'm not quite sure I did. I'm gonna start out with a pretty basic shape here. Of course, we'll add more details once we're a little more sure what this is going to look like. It's not very wide, but I think it'll be fine. I'm completely freehanding this, so it means I'm going to be here for about 5 to 6 business days. Unfortunately, I don't have flashbacks, so I'm just going to have to do a cutaway. I'm sorry. Alrighty, I just got finished. It took me a couple hours, but I think we've ended up with something here that looks kind of like a town hall, at least enough for me. See, Crazy Bone is enjoying one of the fence posts that I put out, but yeah, roof's a little odd, I will admit, and you know, it is very birchy and dark, like everything else here, but I think it's interesting enough to stand on its own, and I actually haven't completed the inside, so maybe just really quick throw together some kind of interior here. Probably faster to walk, but it's fine. I think it makes sense to have a couple of seats in here. I think we'll make this a table since I can't do a trapdoor there or a fence. I said a trapdoor and then I said a fence. How did I get that wrong twice? Do you guys like my microphone stand? And I think we'll grab a flower pot and a cactus to put in there. Seeing as we're this close to the desert, I feel like that makes sense. I also need to grab some carpet, I think, because that stone brick does not look very good. I think I'm quickly going to make a pit stop at the barn and let Crazy Bone rest his crazy bones. Because this is like my 4th time in the last couple minutes going back and forth to my house. And man, if I have to ride Crazy Bone again, I'll go crazy. You didn't hear that. Whee! I accidentally picked up some moss carpet, but I guess that'll work. Just kind of want to use it to break up the floor a little bit. Oh my gosh. Hello? Sorry, guys. You didn't see anything. Hello. You know, I went all that way and didn't even grab my freaking flower pot. I miss my elytra. It's not with me anymore. Alrighty, I'm gonna add a couple of bits of grass around. I don't think they need to be tall. There's a lot of tall grass in this area anyway, but I think I'm willing to call this finished for now. I think I will put a firefly bush here just to kind of show that it's new. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. I think the bell really sells it. This is kind of more of a town hall than anything. I will continue to work with the terrain around it, and I'm sure that there's going to be like a custom tree or something added over here once the path's finished. I think overall I'm pretty happy with this. As much work as I put into it, man, it took me forever to come up with it. I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do with the walls. The dark oak kind of just seemed like a better compromise than using spruce again. And I knew obviously that I wanted the roof to kind of be spruce anyways, because everything else is. I think that adds a different kind of color, and so does the stone. I'd like to add something here, maybe a statue or something to bring this area together, because I'm pretty sure I know what's going to go here, and obviously we still have a lot of work to do in this area. But I think we only have about 3 more buildings to go. Here, here, and here maybe. I also could play around with doing some custom trees and some custom terrain stuff, but we'll just have to see. That was loud. But I think for now, I'm going to go organize my inventory, maybe get some sleep, and continue working on this village. I hope to have this done really soon. I'm so burnt on working with this area. Although with that coming together the way that it did, maybe the rest of this won't be so bad. Just doing a little bit of farming. I have been working on a couple of things in the village that I need to show you. Replant this really fast and then show off kind of what I've been up to in the village. I think I'll walk out this way towards the village, but you can kind of see that some of the buildings have changed. This building was birch and is now green. This one is kind of just the normal terracotta color, but with the spruce, it kind of looks red. Over here, I changed this to packed mud because I imagine this being more of like a armory. I changed this one to be blue, this one to be yellow, and this one to be oak. Also, I had a little train station thing here. I thought that was kind of cool. But anyway, these trees are actually going to become pretty important in this build. This one is a small scale tree, and you might have saw the one, well, if you're watching the video, you saw the one earlier. But we're actually going to be using these to kind of tie this area all together. I wanted an excuse to use these new pink flowers because you can put them on literally anything. So I've come up with a design for a really big build that we can stuff kind of, I think maybe over here, that'll tie this whole area in together, especially with these dotted around the place, as long as they're sprinkled around. You can also see that I started work on a pumpkin patch over here, or these are pumpkins. I'm not totally in love with this quite yet. That's why you haven't seen it. Actually, I think I know how to improve it anyways. Having this wrap off at the end, I think, is a little better look. Once these grow in and stuff, which reminds me, I need some bone meal. This will make sense. And also, I'm gonna have like a little sugarcane farm over here, so I should probably get that set up, and a little chicken coop, because I imagine up here at the train station, you'd want some kind of food near as like a tourism spot. So I think we're gonna have like a pumpkin pie stand up here of some sort in this area. I hear stuff, and I think there's a giant cave down here. Yeah. I spent a little bit of time, and by a little bit of time, I mean like way longer than it should have taken me to clear out a little bit of this cave and light it up a little bit so that won't happen again. I also found an insane zombie horde that was just hanging out at the bottom of this cave, so I got jumped and then dealt with them. I went to my sheep farm after that, and then got a couple stacks of orange and white wool to finish off my pumpkin pie shop. Alright, I'm coming up with something. I imagine this to be kind of like a stand. I don't want it to be too high to where it's blocking that. I also want it to be interesting looking, so I think we add in like a roof. Gonna be honest, I kind of hate this. I'm gonna just go ahead and do this. God, thank you. Okay, I think I'm getting there. Out of these little item frames here, I can toggle them to be off. I think I like that. Or does it make more sense to, I don't know, that looks more Minecrafty. I kind of like that. Alrighty, the pumpkin pie shop thing is looking pretty good. I think I want to do a custom armor stand of somebody selling some pumpkin pie, so I might do that. Yeah, I really like this. I think I'm going to go ahead and add a quick little pathway to the pumpkin pie stand. Something kind of like that, I guess. I think this is it in all of its glory now. I am definitely going to add some vegetation and stuff around here. And I think I already have a couple of spots planted out for these. So I'll go ahead and fill in that space while I can. Here, here, and here. I try to make them all kind of interesting in their own ways. You can see this one is more of a tunnel than anything coming out from here. I think I will have to work on this back area a little bit. It's not quite what I want it to be, especially up there. We have this little guy here, which is the first one I built. And it's supposed to look like the other stem here that usually comes up from these fell off. So it's right here. It has a flower on top of it. And a really big one. I like the shape of this one. I think the most. It comes out like this. And I like how much it ties this area together. And I think our last normal building in this village, at least for right now, I want to be some kind of like church looking building. And I think I'm just going to start with a simple shape kind of like this. And I'm going to work my way up and kind of see what it turns into. I need to go sleep. I think once we get the basic shape in and I'm able to visualize it, then I can go back in and start adding a lot of the detail because I want there to kind of be like a wood trim here. I am very high up now. I broke my legs, but you can kind of see the shape I'm going for here. And I think there's going to actually be kind of more of a chapel coming out this way. I might go ahead and just call that, and then we can work on the windows from this side so that this isn't so boring looking. And I think we'll raise this up like a really steep roof, kind of to match this. It's looking interesting, isn't it? I think I'm actually going to bring this down a layer. It's a little too tall and I don't want it to block that tower over there. Alright, I've been working with this for a while and I'm nowhere near finished, but the roof over here will kind of look like something like this, and then over here, of course, there will be more detailing on this side, don't worry about it. But up here, I think, is going to be some kind of dome. I have an idea, I just gotta get all of the resources to do it. Also, my inventory is so full. Keep working with this, and hopefully, I'll have something to show for it. The roof's also gonna be an interesting task. Oh, I forgot about that.
I'm gonna need a mini React bot for this one. It stinks.
Welcome to the church of the village. I'm actually really happy with the way this turned out. It came together towards the end, I'll admit. This side, of course, could use some work again, and I forgot to fill in that window, of course. But overall, I'm super happy with this. And to show you the roof, it's kind of just a wool and terracotta roof with this globe on top, because I didn't want them worshiping any significant thing. It's just not my cup of tea. But I added this globe here just to kind of signify maybe they're just showing thanks for the world and everything. Some real hippie villagers in my Minecraft world, but it's okay. And then the inside kind of looks like this for right now. I really like the fact that you can see the trees and stuff through here. And then I'll have a lectern or 2 lecterns up here, and then you kind of walk through. I worked with what space I had, and you come out this door, and this is kind of the other front of the building, so I'll have to mess with this again. Yeah, I think that shape works. It's a little interesting, but I kind of like how it bridges the gap here and then leaves the globe on top. Before I get rid of this scaffolding, I'm going to go and find some glow lichen to put over here. If I'm not mistaken, I think there's actually some up here at the top of this tower. Just grabbed it. It'll be a small touch, but it will hopefully light that up and accentuate it more. Now, all I should have to do for this church is the pathways leading in from both the side and the front. And other than like just bone mealing around it and stuff, I think it's finished for now. Player perspective, it looks really cool down here. And I didn't want it to be taller than any of the towers around here, but it still looks significant enough to look like a church of some sort. And the globe up there kind of sells it for me. Alrighty, you can see I got the pathways in now. Over here, I need to texture that one up a little bit, but it's okay. Yeah, I'm really liking how this village is turning out so far. I think everything is blending in well. And of course, there is an open plot of land there and an open plot of land back here, kind of, up with this pond of some sort. Not sure what I'll do with this pond yet, or if I'll leave it there, so I'm just gonna leave it for now. Over here, I'm not quite sure what to do yet because I don't want to populate this too much. Although I feel like there should be something here since this is like the exit. But I think, last but not least, I think I want to work in this area over here and finally complete the giant green plant with the pink flowers. Not quite sure what to call it yet. Kind of just made it up. But I have a ton of resources to gather, so I have to get that done. And then we can officially finish this village, at least for now, by adding in the last piece of the puzzle. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope this build was worth it. I'm really happy with it. I extended this down here if you didn't tell, but I think its best angle's probably over here, so we'll head this way. My village is officially starting to feel a little more like a village. I feel like all the little parts we've added today kind of make it feel like a living and breathing place, and oh, that's beautiful right there. That's probably the thumbnail, by the way. But I'm sure this area will change by the next time you see it, and cannot wait to show you this area with all the villagers and stuff in it. But ladies and gentlemen, I think this is the end of today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I had a lot of fun today. I really like every little part that we made. I feel like this area already feels a little more alive and pretty inspired to keep building and hopefully have another episode out really, really soon. But thank you again for watching this video, especially if you made it to the end, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.